So this is going to be Banjo's first session with the muzzle conditioning, other than he's literally only had this on his face very briefly for 2, maybe 3 times, just enough that I was trying to see what was the right size. So I didn't even really fully put it on, just kind of went, oh, is that the right one? Is that the right one? And so I got a number, so I figure it's a number 3. And then what I did was, if you see, I cut the front off of this one. So this is not a functional muzzle. This is just to start teaching. So it's going to be more like a donut. So he's actually got fully open on the front. And we'll do the full thing later. So all we're going to do, now he's interested in the food. If you have a food motivation going on, that's obviously helpful. So I'm just going to have him stick my hand in there and give him the treat like that. Good boy. So even if I can have him actually stick his nose in there, good. So rather, I'll give him a free one. So rather than put this on his face and feel, that will make the dog probably get more defensive. If I've got the front cut off, I can stick my hand kind of in there and let him he's sticking his nose in there to get the treat. See, watch this. I'm not even going to move this. I'm going to put the treat in there. Come on. There you go. Good boy. So he's making that choice, and having his own incentive to go in there and get the treat. Good boy. And at this point, he can pull his nose right back out if he wants to. Good job. Kind of like if we're first teaching a dog to go in a crate, rather than just shove them in there and close the door. You throw some treats in there or something and let them go in and get it on their own. Good boy. So then that way you're just trying to create a positive association so it doesn't feel like a punishment. This is not a punishment tool. This is a safety tool, whether it's to keep a dog from biting another dog or biting a person, or to keep them from eating or chewing on things they're not supposed to chew on, or eating poop, or for whatever reason you might be, or chewing on themselves possibly even. So it's just a way. There's a lot of reasons that you might want to use a muzzle, not just for aggression, but the most common thing is for aggression. This is my dog Banjo. He's not aggressive at all. I'm just doing this just to be able to demonstrate how to start teaching a dog to wear the muzzle. And I've actually never had a dog of my own that I've taught to wear a muzzle. And it's usually a homework assignment that I give to clients occasionally when I have a dog that I think is bad enough that they need to wear a muzzle. So now this time, I'm going to put it on him. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold his collar here, right here, so he can't back away, and just hold that on his nose for a second. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Good job. Now, since I held it on there for a while, I'm going to give him another treat right after. Good boy. Okay. So that would be it. That would be it. That would be a first session. That may have even been longer than need be, just because I was explaining it. We'll take a break. Come back. We'll do another one. All right. Okay. So this will be our second session. We just took a break just for a couple of minutes, but so far so good. He's not having any real problem with this. But you can see if I just try and come here. If I hold his collar and just go to put it on him, might get a little more resistance. Not really. Good boy. Okay. So that went well. You have to adapt this to how the dog is behaving. Some dogs will really have trouble with the muzzle, and other dogs take to it with not that much trouble. But you'll notice though, what I'm doing now as the next step is I'm holding his collar. Come here. Just gently. I'm not grabbing. Come here. So just holding the collar just in case the dog tries to back away. And then I'm just actually taking this now and kind of putting it on his face. Good boy. I'm just going to pet him a little bit. Good boy. And then take it off. Good job. So he's being really good about this, considering that he has not been muzzle trained before. But now you can always go back and give him one of these where he puts his nose in you hold the treat, and he puts his nose, see right there. Let's get a close up. There you go. See? And he put his nose right in there. See that? So he's putting his nose right in there to get the treat. But then the next thing would be, okay, the treat's gonna come afterwards, so I'm just gonna hold his collar here and then put that right on there. Maybe just hold it there for a second. But there's not a lot of pressure. I'm gently holding the collar, gently holding this. But what we don't want, good boy. Now I'll give him the treat after, right? Or while you're holding this on, we can hold it on there for a second. And then I can, if he's being good, no. See right there, he went to back away. So I just grab his collar, good. I don't want him to escape. Good boy, okay. What you don't want is, we don't want the dog to pull away and get out of the muzzle. We don't want them to have the experience of escaping the muzzle. Because then they're gonna, right, the whole point of doing this is so that the dog doesn't fight it. If you just grab this, throw it on a dog and strap it on, they're most likely gonna fight it. And I've seen some dogs really go crazy, whether it's a muzzle or even the harness, the head harnesses that people use for walking their dogs. Anything that's on the dog's face, sometimes they go crazy. And I've seen dogs rub their face on the ground or scratch their own face with their claws trying to get it off. So this is when people are just sticking them on without going through this conditioning. Those things happen. So we don't want that to happen. Good job. So once we go to holding it on here, we got the collar. I'm not pulling this unless he tries to back out of it. I'm just gonna go, Right. Good job, good boy. Okay, there we go. And then I can still give the treat afterwards. So that would more or less be phase 2. Phase 1, they just stick their own face in there and they can take their nose right back out if they want to. Phase 2 is where we put it on there and hold it. Hold the collar, gently hold this. Make sure they're relaxed before you take it off. If they're fighting, they gotta relax a little, then you take it off. Probably need to do a video of this with a dog that's more resistant because he's just being so good. Come here, huh? You're being a good boy, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna try this again. We just took a break for about an hour, walked around a little bit, hung out. Actually, I had a client, so that's why it took an hour, but we're gonna try this again. So far, it's gone well. It doesn't matter how long it's been or how many sessions. It's probably a good idea to stay on the one phase before you move to the next phase. So now the next phase is gonna be, I wanna put this on and then actually bring the strap around his head. I'm not gonna latch it, but I'm just gonna try, anyway. Hopefully I have this thing adjusted big enough. So I wanna go and just hold the strap so that I can just kind of hold it by the strap on the back of his head, probably just for a few seconds. Main thing is we wanna make sure that he's not fighting. We don't want him to successfully fight their way out of the muzzle. So we're gonna do this, show him the treat, hold it, So I'm holding his collar here a little bit, and I'm going to put this on so it goes around behind his ear a little bit. And I'm just gonna, if you can see that, I'm just holding that there. There's no pressure, my hand is very relaxed. I even had him move forward a little bit to come and get the treat. Good, so he's moving forward with this thing on his face. He's not backing away, he's not trying to escape it. I'm just giving him treats out of it. I think having the front cut off really makes this a lot easier. Good job. And then I remove it. Good boy. Give him another treat. Good job. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. Everything went well so far. I'm gonna do a couple of reps, or a rep or two. We'll see how it goes. Just like we did before, holding it, and then I'm gonna try strapping it. Just so you guys know, I mean, this video might feel a little bit long and boring because I'm not editing it in any fancy way. I'm not doing any repetitions of these exercises in between. What cuts you see are just us taking a break and doing something else and coming back. So far, this has all been in the same time frame. It's been maybe a couple hours from the first video till now. with these breaks in between, but it's all happening on the same day. You don't have to do this all on the same day, and it might take longer. I'm doing this with my own dog. He's already trained. He's 7 years old, so he's kind of mellowed out. Mellowed out for a cattle dog. And it's hot out right now too. That's probably helped keeping him mellow. But anyway, I just want you guys to know this is just, I really want to show whatever happens. So it doesn't seem like some sort of editing trickery. So come here, bud. So we're going to use the treat again. Have him put it on. Come here. Good. I'm going to hold it on there. Come here. So I just pulled his collar there a little to bring him in closer. Now I'm gonna try the same thing. So I had to adjust that. I'm not gonna clip it. The reason why I'm not clipping it is because once I clip it, if he does start to have a problem or anything, it might take a minute to unclip it. So I'm not overcommitting to anything, just holding it. So that's going just fine. So there we go. So, good job. Okay. And then, again, I'm taking it off. He's not removing his face from the muzzle. I'm removing the muzzle from his face. I think that's essential. He's not removing his face from the muzzle. I'm removing the muzzle from his face. Okay. So here we go. So, but since things are going well so far, I'm going to go ahead and clip it. It's not fit perfectly. It's a little loose. We can always tighten this. See, the strap's too loose. We can deal with tightening up the strap later, or when I'm done here, I'll tighten it up just a little bit because it's a little too loose. There we go. But he's actually, now I'm not holding it at all. No hands. Give him a treat. Good boy. You can, of course, pet him with the other hand. Good boy. But now, if he did start to fight it at all, I would just grab his collar here to stop it and keep his head up. So if he was starting to paw at it or anything, and I would just hold the collar, get him back interested on a treat again, get him settled down. Of course, he's being very good. He's tolerating this better than I expected, actually. And then we unclip it, but still, he's not pulling away. I've got my hand on the collar here, so he's not, but I'm not holding any pressure on the collar. It's just there in case he tries to pull away. Then we pull this off. Good boy. Okay. All right. So we're going to pick up where we left off. It's been a few days since the last video. Come here, Banjo. We got to where we clipped it on just a little bit. So this time I'm going to clip it on. So there we go. Now the only thing that's happened between the last video is just right now before I started shooting this, I put this on him a couple of times just to adjust the size. I needed to tighten it up. I think I still don't. I think I have it maybe a little bit too tight here. Let me see if I can loosen this a little bit. I think I have the strap between the nose a little too tight. There we go. It's pulling it up. It's too tight. It starts pulling it up onto the eyes. There we go. That's pretty good. So the only thing I don't have is I don't have the leash through the bottom loop of it, but it's snapped on his head, and the forehead strap is on. That seems like a decent fit. So here we go. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to walk him around a little bit and play with him a little bit. I want to keep him kind of engaged with me, so I'm going to, and nice thing about having the front cut off here is he can still eat treats off the ground. I'm pretty sure. I haven't tried yet. He should be able to. So I'm going to just play some little engagement games with him and some little treat games with him. So give him the treat, have him pay attention to me, maybe throw the treat on the ground, have him chase the treat. But I'm going to put him on leash here also. So if he tries to paw at it or anything, I can just tell him, and tug the leash. So let's see what happens. Come on, buddy. He is able to get it off the ground. Good boy. He's shaking his head a little bit. Not bad, but sit. Good boy. Okay. Right there, I just stopped him because he was going to mess with it a little bit. He started shaking his head, and I saw his paw coming up, so I think he was going to maybe try to paw it. I don't want to allow that. So, I'm out of treats, so I have to reload. That's good for now, though, I think. Good boy. If you're not using treats or you don't have treats, you can also just pet him a little bit, walk around a little bit. He's doing pretty good, actually, considering, right, he doesn't have a lot of experience with this thing. And again, I'm going to take it off now. I'm going to just call that a successful session. But I pull it off, and I pull it off. He doesn't escape this thing. I just take it off of him. Everything's nice and calm, and casual and positive. Good job, buddy. So, yeah, it's been about a month or so. I can't remember since I was doing those videos of desensitizing Banjo to the muzzle. I just been busy and caught up doing other things. But between now and then, I haven't done any muzzle work at all. So everything that I've done has been on the video, other than what I just did right before starting this little talk, because he's right here with the muzzle on. But really, it's been on him for 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and I gave him a couple of treats, and then I started talking to the camera. Now I'm going to flip the camera around, and here we go for our next lesson. Okay, here we go. Give him a couple of treats. Let's just walk him around. This is still the one with the front cut off of it, by the way, so you can see that there. All right, let's go. Come on, bud. Come on. He's shaking and messing with it a little bit. Come on, Banjo. Let's go. Good boy. Good boy. Of course, I could do this with the leash as well, so I could use the leash to stop him if he starts messing with it a lot. Make him another treat. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Okay. Of course, you'd prefer not to have it on. Good boy. Let's go. Come on. Let's try to keep him moving. There he is. Good job, buddy. Come on. Let's go. So far, so good, though. It's really not bad. But all in all, he's taken to this fairly easily. I've gone through it pretty fast. Sometimes it can take longer. Some dogs will really go crazy trying to get the muzzle off. And of course, having some decent verbal commands helps. To be able to just say or leave it or something to get him to stop messing with it. You know, having some training on the dog obviously helps. Good boy. Let's go here. Go here. Tired. Good boy. Give him something to do. Keep his mind off of it. Good boy. Here you go. That's right. We'll have him go through the tunnel. Tunnel. Good boy. There you go. Good job. Good boy. Let's go here. Fine. Good boy, Banjo boy. Good job. Good job. Let's go here. Come here. Jump. Jump. Good boy. Good boy. Jump. Good. Tire. Good boy. That's right. Let's come over here. So far, now he's occupied on something else. Good. Tunnel. Good boy. Good job. Climb. Good boy. Tunnel. Good. Good boy. Teeter. Good job, buddy. Walk. easy. Watch where you're going. Alright, good boy. Good boy. Come on, let's come inside. Oh. Banjo. Leave it. He's starting to mess with it a little now. Good boy. Good boy. That's probably could be long enough for a session, but I'll keep it on a little longer. Go to your bed. Good boy. That's a good boy. And so now I'll give him a treat again. Didn't give him a treat when he's doing the agility because at this point that's self-rewarding for him. He just loves to do it. He doesn't even really care about treats that much when he's doing agility. But now that he's just laying there, he could start to focus on the muzzle. So throw him a bone. There you go. Good boy. That's a nice thing about having the front cut off. It's easier for him to get to the treats for things like this. Just toss him the treat there. Good boy. Good boy. Okay, come here. Good boy. That's right. Good. Go to your bed. Good. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. There you go. That's probably good for now. Go ahead and take this thing off of you. Good boy. Oh, he wants to do that again. Come on, let's go. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Okay, so there you go. So that's a little bit of muzzle conditioning, desensitizing. Hopefully that's enough to give you some tips, some idea of how to start conditioning your dog to the muzzle. If I keep working with Banjo more, which I probably should, so I don't want to make any promises, but if I do, then I'll put up some video just to show how he's doing, but I don't think we need to keep going step by step by step forever. I think it's just going to be a very long, boring video for you guys. I think you get the idea. And then once they're good with the muzzle that's cut off on the front, then you just use a regular muzzle and it should not be that difficult of a transition. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Thank you very much. Peace.